What did I say the other day when it was who's to blame for the predicament the Cavs are in? I said it's LeBron because he showed the way. He showed how, forget about all the details. Oh, they're going to say this, they're going to say that. They're going to count chips in the end. That's what they're going to do. The details will be washed over by history, and people don't want, it's like the barbershop scene from Coming to America. I don't know how old he was. I know he whipped his butt, though, right?
Yeah, right.
That's the same thing is going to happen, and LeBron recognized that. He had a more sober, clearer view of history, and therefore what is to come than anyone else. He said, to hell with what you people are saying. I'm going to go get chipped up. He also noticed that the only teams that win championships, I mean, maybe once every 10 years there's an exception, but the only teams that do are the teams when you look at the roster, you say, that's an unfair team. No one else has a shot. That was the Lakers in the 80s. They have Kareem and Magic and this one and that. Norm Nixon. You know, we still need a power forward off the bench. Let's go get Bob McAdoo. What? Got 5-time All-Star, won the MVP 6-7 years before that to go play on your bench. The Celtics were the same thing. The Bulls in the 90s were the same thing. Those are the only teams that really win consistently championships are super teams. LeBron saw that. So KD said, okay, LeBron, but in the words of Lupe Fiasco, did you improve on the design? Did you do something
new?
He said, okay, LeBron, I see what you did, but you tried to form like Voltron. You tried to do this from scratch, so it took a year to get going. And then you won, not 6, not 7, they won 2. KD said, watch this. And he surveyed the landscape and said, they're already a machine. They're ready to go. I'm just going to add on. He improved on LeBron's design, and they formed this absurd super team. So KD's right. LeBron showed the way, and KD said, okay, I'll up the ante. And now it's an arms race.
Well, see, that's the problem. That's some lazy thinking right there, because what KD is trying to do is defer to LeBron. And you're saying that LeBron came up with the design. But where did LeBron get the design from? Let's complete your thought. Let's complete that logic. It actually starts with leverage and power. How do you even create a super team? You gotta have a super player. And that started back in 97 and 98 when Michael Jordan told the NBA and Chicago Bulls, I will play next year for 1 year and $33 million, which in today's dollar amount is $50.5 million. That dude was making more in 97 than 19 NBA teams. So when Michael Jordan does this, LeBron James is sitting back as a young lad saying, I don't know what's going on, but damn, he's getting paid. And then Michael Jordan turned that into success. Now, let's fast forward to the big three. And Danny Ainge and Kevin McHale over there shaking hands behind closed doors, creating a super team on the court from management's perspective. So now you combine the efforts of what management could do and the power of one player. That is what LeBron James is. But let's not get deluded. LeBron James is the face of this, but he's not the creator of this.
He's not the face.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yes,
Preaching up here.
Yes.
Preaching up here. Reverend Wiley over here.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh, you guys.
Uh-oh.
For anybody that's been paying attention to the NBA for 71 plus years, super teams have always existed.
Say it.
The Celtics have 17 championships, the Lakers have 16. That's about 48% of the total championships. Both of those franchises have the most Hall of Famers, and they have the most storied history. So they had all-time puppet masters pulling strings. Red Auerbach for the Celtics, Pat Riley, Jerry West. And when LeBron James went to Miami, he didn't necessarily create that situation. You know who cleared out the salary cap a year and a half prior to LeBron coming? Mr. Pat Riley was the person that actually had LeBron to where he could come there, join Dwayne Wade after they won a championship, add Chris Bosh, and then continue to turn over the roster consistently to build around those 3 guys and win 2 championships. LeBron saw that after, as you mentioned, the Boston Celtics did it. Danny Ainge, Kevin McHale, handshake deal, played together. All of a sudden, Kevin Garnett goes to play with Paul Pierce. They add Ray Allen, and then they thump LeBron. You guys remember? Off the court, took off his jersey, he was gone. And he was like, I now have to win championships because though I'm an MVP playing in my hometown team, people aren't going to treat me like I'm an all-time great.
Yeah. And so, Dan Gilbert wouldn't get him any help.
Correct. Yeah. So he goes to Miami, learns the championship glory. He pens a letter, doesn't include Andrew and doesn't include Wiggins before he even comes back. Because he was saying not 5, not 6, not 7, because he wasn't going to be able to get it with Wade and Bosh. So he was like, I can get it with Kyrie. I can get it with Love. And so he came back home. And so I see what KD's trying to do, but KD did something way different. The Golden State Warriors weren't like LeBron joining the Heat because the Heat had already done it years prior, but they were a poor team. The Golden State Warriors, it was like the Avengers. He literally just joined a 73-win team. And he's a top 3 player already.
Yeah,
But
right.
to Marcellus's point, between the 2 points that you guys are making, I agree with Marcellus here, Jalen, because KD is further. Look, what LeBron really did is said, okay, now the super team's going to be created and the player is going to have control. The player will determine his own destiny. I will determine my own destiny. I'll not leave it up to a GM. And KD took that a step further, what you're talking about.
Yes.
Now it's time for story time with Max.
Uncle Maxie time.
Gather around, children. Uncle Max has a story to tell you.
Campfire time.
Baseball?
I was reading an article very recently, in fact, this morning, on what's it called? WaitButWhy.com by a guy called Tim Urban. And the point he was making that if you dropped Albert Einstein in the middle of the woods and he had no knowledge of anything, he would not be able, as smart as he was, to invent the spear. That doesn't happen. Doesn't matter how smart you are, you don't have a shot at doing that by yourself. You are building on generations of cultural evolution, and eventually someone says, hey, if we attach this to this, now we have a spear. But Einstein by himself can't do it. So the idea that, well, is it LeBron or is it KD? Of course KD is building on what LeBron did, just as LeBron built on what Jordan did, just as Jordan built on what others did, including Magic and Bird and Dr. J. These are steps people are taking. The real question here is, did Durant take a step? And from where did he take it? And I think Durant is, yes, he took a step. He furthered it one step.
Yeah.
And the step is from LeBron James. LeBron showing, go make an unfair advantage. KD saying, why bring it all together? Just go join an unfair advantage.